You are entering the bonus stage, a podcast produced in association with oceanofbees.com, with your host Marauder
Phoenix923,
a podcast for all gamers,
console and PC alike.
Welcome to Bonus Stage.
Hello and welcome to the bonus stage, a podcast produced in association with oceanofbees.com. As always, I'm your host Marauder.
And I'm Phoenix923.
And we've got a lot to get to on this episode. We're going to jump right into it and check out what is new on oceanofbees.com. We've got a whole bunch of new videos, so let's just start from the bottom up. If you want to talk about these in any length, just stop me. So, here we go. First video is What Would Jenkins Do by the PC Inspector. It's just a Q&A kind of video where you're supposed to ask his butler Jenkins questions, and hopefully he'll answer you. I assume that will be funny, or it should be hilarious. The next one is Off the Chain, off episode 7, where Nigel Burns chose off another piece of his keychain collection. Again, funny, very short, hilarious. Go check it out. The next video is by Sammy Kablan, The Negative Reinforcement Spin Tunes 5 Round 3. At this point, if you guys are watching those videos at all, you probably already know what they're about, so I'm just going to let that go. The next video, The PC Inspector Online Team Fortress 2, Episode 14. Again, he goes on to try to have a polite conversation, and people get angry at him for it.
Being awfully rude.
Yes, they are awfully rude to him for no reason whatsoever. The next one is Raving Reviews Taken 2, basically where Filmbreaker reviews another movie and tries to uncover its more sinister underlying meanings. I hope someday he'll get out of his crawl space. But until then, it is quite funny, it's quite entertaining, so do check that out. And the latest video we have on the website is What Would Jenkins Do? The Answers. So, okay, apparently if you asked him questions, he put up the answer video. So do check that out. Should be pretty funny. I have not had time to watch that as of yet, but I will.
And it looks like the first page of their new comic is on, too.
I was going to say, I scrolled up to see a new comic strip. So yeah, we have a new artist on the site doing a new Ocean of Bees comic series. It's written by Jab and art by Blurbles. I'm assuming that's the Mantis chick, but I'm not sure. So don't quote me on it. Don't quote me on anything. I don't want to be tied down to anything.
Quoting Marauder.
No. Get rid of the quotation marks. I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything yet. Alright, anyway, and down to the blogs. We have 2 new blogs, both of which are movie reviews by myself. One is my review of Sinister and Paranormal Activity 4. I threw those together because they're both kind of horror-based, and I saw them within days of each other. So do check that out if you're interested to know what I think about either of those movies. And the latest blog is my written review of Wreck-It Ralph, the new Disney movie that's supposed to be all Roger Rabbit for video games. So, if you guys have any interest in seeing that and want to know what, whether or not it's any good, do check that out. I did have one moment of nerdgasm when I did see on the wall a picture of Peter Pepper, and I was freaking out, and my friend Alex, who was with me, didn't understand who Peter Pepper was. And I'm going, afterwards I'm like, really? You don't know who Peter Pepper is? No, I've never heard of Peter Pepper. Oh my god, I have so much to teach you.
Sit down.
Sit down. We are going to play Peter Pepper's game. I don't think I actually have a copy of Burger Time on any console, come to think of it.
Oh.
I know. I just really like it when I play it on emulators.
Uh-huh.
The dark magic of emulators. Alright, well, so that is everything that is new on oceanofbees.com. So we're going to go ahead and click off that and move on to topics and news. The section where we talk about topics and news. And
really,
yes.
God, I would not
hopefully
have
we're
guessed
going to be very informative during this whole thing. But anyway, you brought up a really interesting article, so why don't you go ahead and talk about it?
Right. Let's see. Let me pull it up here. Damn it.
You're not prepared? We did all this preparing.
I know, but you're usually the one who keeps everything in line.
Well, yeah, I do have it up, but I thought since it was your article and you found it, that you should be the one to start the conversation.
Well, okay, I was just browsing my Google Plus, just seeing what all the new interesting topics are, and this one article piqued my interest, basically titled, New Microsoft Kinect Patent Blatantly Plans to Spy on Private Viewing Habits. Basically, anyone who's watching a movie or something and you have a Kinect up, well, they're gonna see you. And the guy also brought up an interesting point where these movies would have like some sort of licensing to them, where he gives the example of, say, 4 people are in there and you have a license for 4 people, but say, I don't know, 2 more friends come in, then the movie would probably just stop, or a pop-up would come up saying, hey, upgrade your license so 6 people can watch. And there's nothing else to really say but just no. No.
I couldn't believe this when you sent this to me and I was browsing it over. Yeah, essentially what the patent is a camera that they use the Kinect, but it could essentially, like the author here says, could be put into smartphones, televisions, Blu-ray players, what have you. And then the various movies would have, like, a license, like you said, that would allow just a certain number of people to view the movie at one time. So let's assume, for argument's sake, that you went out and you bought a brand new Blu-ray movie. There was something coming out, and you went out day one, and you picked it up. And so you brought it home, and you called up a friend of yours, and you're like, hey, I got this new movie that I know you want to see, so come on over, we'll watch it. And all right, cool. So he shows up, and you're watching the movie, and about halfway through the movie, I don't know, your friend from across the street walks into the room and happens to come within view of the camera that's built into the television set. And it checks that and says, oh, wait a minute, you only bought the Blu-ray version 1. So you're only allowed to have one additional person watching with you. And it stops the movie and says, all right, well, if you want to view it with 3 people at one time, you have to pay, I don't know, $5 more, or I don't know, something like that, to upgrade your license.
Just whatever price, whatever.
Right. I mean, there's nothing set in stone. This is all hypothetical. So let's say it says, all right, you need $5 more to watch it with one more person in the room. Now, this is absolute and utter bullshit, as far as I'm concerned. Once I buy a movie, if I legitimately go out to the store and buy a movie, like the Avengers, I just bought the Avengers when that came out a little while back. Mm-hmm. If the Avengers came with some sort of tacked-on licensing thing where only a certain number of people would be able to watch it, I would take it back, and I would demand my money back. This is absolutely overreaching. I mean, the title says it all. Private viewing habits. They have no right to spy on you. I don't care what the reasoning is. I mean, the government has brought suits against people who use webcams in such a way.
Yep.
Who hack people's webcams. It's illegal. It is very much illegal. And they can, and they'll try to spin it off saying, well, it's to prevent piracy. Well, it's to make sure that people aren't stealing the movie or copying it off. Alright, that has nothing to do with it, though, because if you're going to enforce this certain number of people in a room idea, it just doesn't, it's not going to hold any water. It just won't. Nobody's going to stand for this. Nobody.
I mean, even take, for example, like, you're just watching the movie and then just someone happens to cross the room, they're not even watching the movie, and then it just catches that one person, or it just stops the movie because of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, it doesn't even have to be anybody who, like, comes in to watch the movie. Oh man, nobody would stand for this. Nobody.
Nope. No one. I mean, as it stands right now, it's just a patent Microsoft.
Yeah, it's not enforced
thing,
anywhere yet. It's not put in anything yet.
But it could be a possibility if they decided to go forward with it, which I highly doubt would hold any water with anyone.
Now let's take this into video games realm, okay? Let's say you bought the new Xbox 720 and it comes with the built-in Kinect sensor, and so you go ahead and I want to get I want to play Batman. So you put Batman in, and you've got your brother or your a friend over, and you're sitting there watching them play it, and they goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, your copy of Batman only allows you to play single player. In order to play two-player or local co-op, you have to pay an additional $9.99."
Mm-hmm.
When you just spent $60 on a brand new game.
Yep.
Or whatever the new price is going to be, because I'm certain it'll go up.
Of course, because,
Because they need money.
Because, they can't just, stop spending that much money to create a game, spending beyond their means. No, that would be too hard.
There was a great episode of, not to host another show or anything, or to boost it up, but the Jimquisition had a very good episode on this exact kind of idea.
Yep.
Where he was complaining, well, I wouldn't say complaining, but he was bringing to light the fact that various game companies will have all these tie-ins with all these other companies. Like, for example, he used Halo 4 has a Doritos and a Mountain Dew endorsement. And also the fact that even though we're paying for Xbox Live Gold, I'm not, but if you are, $50 a year or $60 a year or whatever it is, people pay, I think he said up to like $344,000 for a one-day slot on the Xbox dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
Companies are paying this. We're not paying this, And so, even though you go out and pick up your $60 game, you still have to sit there and be fed all this. Well, on-disc DLC is okay. Well, day one DLC is alright. Well, we have to have online passes. Because at some point, the games have to make money. Well, I'm sorry, you just made $344,000 a day per company per slot.
Yep.
And
you're not making money how?
Yeah, how exactly is this not making money?
I mean, while I don't have an Xbox 360, I've seen, the dashboard of yours.
Yeah,
and it's like at most like 80% advertisements.
I know, they shove the disc tray icon off to the left side.
Yeah.
Like, it's in the upper left corner, but then there's like this huge, gigantic ad for, I don't know,
there's at least
Axe deodorant or something, right?
There's at least like 50 advertisements, like all running at once on your dashboard.
I don't even pay attention to them anymore, and actually, I know the exact port to block to get rid of them too on my router if I wanted to.
I know, but I'm just saying, there's that many advertisements running at once, and then you just multiply it by whatever that amount was that you just said. Where are they not making money? Exactly.
Well, the thing is, then they charge for Xbox Live.
Yeah, on top of that.
Yeah, on top of all that. The thing that really blows my mind is the fact that the Xbox updated recently to include Internet Explorer as an application. And I was like, oh, cool, well, I'll go ahead and download it. And it popped up and said, you have to have Xbox Live Gold in order to use Internet Explorer. And I'm sitting there going... And I'm sitting at my laptop, like literally, if anybody wants to see how my room is set up, I have a video up of how everything is set up. My Xbox is literally not even a foot away from my computer.
Yep.
Why would I bother doing this at all? Or people have smartphones, or tablets, or laptops, or whatever to get online.
Or a PS3 that gets it for free.
Yeah, like the PS3 has a free web browser. I mean, it's not great, but it does the job. And I can go on YouTube, and I can go on Netflix, and I can go on whatever else I want for free on PS3. And to be completely honest, I kind of prefer the PS3's online just for that reason, that I don't have to pay for it. Now, they do offer the PlayStation Plus membership thing, and they do make it very enticing, I will say that. But you don't have to have it. Whereas Xbox 360, you really have to have it. It's kind of frustrating. Not to mention also that Microsoft charges for companies to actually make patches. So
Yeah.
if they release the game and something's broken, it costs them, I think they said like $40,000 to...
For every patch, they have to pay that.
Yeah, so if you put out like patch 1.0 and then you decided to put out a 1.2, that 1.2 is a new patch that would cost more money.
Mm-hmm.
That's one reason the PC, I think, is superior as well, as the patches are free, and you don't have to worry about it, and most of the time the online is free.
I mean, I think that's kind of why, take Payday for an example, because the PS3 users use the Steam forums, as well as the PC Steam users use the Steam forums. And I've seen posts where people are like, how come you guys are on, like, patch 17? We were only on, like, patch 6, for PS3. And I'm like, well, it's because they charge them.
Yeah, and that's a game published by Sony.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, I understand you want to make sure it's compatible with PS3s, and you want to make sure there's not going to be any problems when you release the patch and all that, but I don't see why, especially with a game like Payday that's released by the company that makes the system, you have to run the company into the ground. It's really surprising. So yeah, if they end up going through with this whole spying on you or trying to put limits on the number of people who can play a game or watch a movie, that's not going to stand. Nobody is going to go for that. People will find better ways of doing things.
Well, it's just like the whole thing with us on piracy. How we say piracy is a service problem, not a, money problem.
Yeah, you want to limit the number of people I can have watch the Avengers or whatever? I can easily find a download of whatever movie I want. It's not that hard. You don't even have to be a genius to figure this out.
Yep.
You just have to have a Google browser. That's it. Just type it into Google, you will find it. It's not that hard.
You want to stop piracy? Make your service better than the pirates. I mean, I know we covered this, a while ago in one of our podcasts, where I gave a pretty good example, I think. But, yeah, there's just no way that this whole spying thing would ever pass, because, one, people are already, iffy about their whole privacy thing already in home, and,
yeah,
they're very vocal about it. So, there's just no way that people would be okay with this, and they would probably just not buy whatever has this form of spying implemented into them.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to use the Kinect to track me while I'm playing your games, quote-unquote Kinect games, that's one thing, but you want to turn it on and, like, track me while I'm watching a movie. It's insulting.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, that's, yes, they have a patent on it. Yes, they've developed it, but I don't think it's ever going to really go anywhere. There's no way people would stand for that kind of thing.
No.
Because even Joe Schmo, who has no idea how to barely work his television set, is not going to put up with his TV turning off because he's got 4 people in the room trying to watch something on DVD. It's really just not going to happen. No. And also, everybody's got to have internet. So not only do you have to have like a TV, let's say, with the camera in it, you then have to have an active internet connection. So people who have data caps or usage caps on their internet, this is going to stress them out even more. It's just not feasible, and I don't think it's ever going to go through. But
yep, that's why I say that the whole all digital thing is not going to come anytime soon as people think it is. Just because people do not have a stable internet or a reliable or the amount of data that they can pass through that all these big companies think they do.
Yeah, they just think that the internet is some kind of bottomless pit they can just keep throwing stuff into, and it's really not. Not for a lot of people, it's not. But anyway, let's move on to something I want to talk about. I feel we're kind of negative. This brings up a perfect segue.
Yeah.
We're very negative about gaming for a lot of this podcast. So I figured we'd talk about just like one or two things that we feel are a positive about gaming as of right now. So, I know I'm kind of throwing this on you. I don't really let you think about this too much.
Oh my god, 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 I'm not prepared. What are you doing?
Caught you off guard. Yeah, but so I figured we'd talk about some just some positive things that we like about games, or some positive things that have come up because of games. One thing I like is I like downloadable games to a degree.
Yeah.
Again, this is kind of being a little more negative, but I like the ability to go on there and be like, oh hey, they're re-releasing Soul Calibur, or re-releasing a game that not necessarily would deserve a disc-based release. That's maybe not I'd say game.
I'd say practically anything on like good old games.
Well, not just digitally distributed, but if you look at Xbox or PS3, they've got all these games on there that you can just buy and download, or sometimes just download because of it.
Yeah.
And they're these really niche games that don't really have much of a market, like Half Minute Hero, for example, for you.
Hells yeah.
I mean, the new super awesome mega whatever edition.
Yeah.
Do you think that would actually get a disc-based release nowadays? Would it sell enough copies to make sense to produce it? No. But you have it. It's available. It's out there, which is nice. I'm not a fan of full disc-based games being launched on a digital service, because I feel like if you're paying this, especially for the same amount of money, if you're going to buy it for the exact same as you could go to the store and get it, you might as well go to the store and get it.
Well, the only reason why I think they do that is because they know people will pay that price either way. I mean, take Skyrim for example. Skyrim was $60 new on all platforms, including just the digital version on Steam. And I think that they released it at that price because, well, they knew people would pay at that price. Because it's Skyrim.
Well, yeah, I know a lot of people that all they want to do is they want to download the game, play the game, and have fun. That's all they care about. They don't care if they have a disc or not, just as long as it works.
Yep.
And I can totally understand that. But I'm speaking more. I don't like that though. I like going out and finding the game. I like going out and picking it up and putting it in the system and getting it to work. And maybe it's the retro me going through a bit here, but I still like a cartridge and a system and a controller. Like, it's just the way I'm wired.
Yeah.
But for smaller games, like HD re-releases of some stuff, like Soul Calibur, or they re-release the Turtles arcade game, the X-Men arcade game, I don't download a lot, but there are some games that I will totally be willing to download and pay for.
Just because they're available.
Yeah, so that's great. You can play all these little niche retro kind of games, especially the indie stuff. If you count in the Xbox Live indie scene, games like Fez, games like Techno Kitten Adventure, just these weird games, they're $1. Well, okay, Fez is a little bit expensive, but I mean, a lot of games are just a couple of bucks. And like I said, they're games that don't necessarily deserve or warrant a full disc release. So it's nice to have them available, at least for those people who can appreciate them. So, yeah, that's a positive at least. I don't really go for the whole, here's Super Mario Bros. 2 for the exact same amount of money. You can go to the store and get it, and it's downloadable.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, the one thing that I do like about that, though, I mean, I know you probably don't like the whole, you could buy it physical or digital, but the one thing that I do like about it, though, is if they do it for pretty much a lot of their games in their library, if there's some rare game that you just can't find anywhere, you at least have the option to go download it and buy it digitally so that you can play it whenever you want.
Well, yeah, there is that. Like, if you just want it, like I said, if you just want it, you don't want to go looking for it, especially if it's rare. But, I don't know, I'm the kind of person that still likes to go out to the store and find the game and buy it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's one thing that I do like. Another thing I really like about gaming nowadays is I don't have to go anywhere to try a game out. I can go a lot of times on PS3, Xbox, PC, whatever, and get demos. If a new game's coming out, there's most likely, 9 times out of 10, a demo for it.
Yep.
And I just download it, play it, and see, based on that, whether or not I want to go out and spend the $60. Sometimes that hasn't worked out quite as well as Sonic 2006. But that level was so awesome. And it was like, oh man, if they just polish this up in the final release, this game would be awesome. It's terrible. But yeah, but like... perfect example. The PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. I downloaded that on my Vita. Just a beta, but it was kind of a demo / beta. And I played it, and it's okay, and I don't think I'll be buying it. But at least now I know, rather than having to go find a quote-unquote Blockbuster, if those still exist, to try to rent the game for $10, like, I got to try it for free, and now I know.
Yep.
So I do like that. There's usually a demo. There's usually some way you can find information about the game on the systems themselves. And I'll fill this one out here just as like a third, although I really like the graphics in some games.
Yeah.
I really like the scope of some games. The scope and the quality of some of the games that are coming out, it just blow my mind. I mean, when I was a kid and playing like the NES and the Genesis, I never thought it would be. I thought those games would like, oh man, it'll never look any better than Gunstar Heroes. Like, and now I'm playing stuff like Uncharted or 3D Dot Game Heroes that just look amazing. So, or something just as simple as Minecraft. That there's the way it looks and how you can have so many different styles and so many different ways you can make a game look and play and feel. I mean, there's another edge to that sword where they cost a lot of money to make, and so we're going through all this DLC and on-disc DLC bullshit, but, it's amazing what they can do, and I'm not a graphics whore, you know this.
Yeah.
I'm much more a gameplay person over graphics. But graphics do help. I do like a pretty game,
Mm-hmm. They help you with the immersion of the game.
Yeah, it's not paramount to the whole thing, but it is a piece of the puzzle that needs to be there. But I'm not going to knock a game like Binding of Isaac, let's say, because it doesn't look like Killzone 3. You know what I mean? Like... Mm-hmm. Like, oh no, it's Flash based and 2D and it looks like the original Zelda and I hate this.
Doesn't have 1,000,000 pixels.
It's fun to play and I like I like the art style. So I guess it's not so much graphics, it's just the styles that I like. You can go from totally realistic to totally mind-bending and it's all there for you and there's pretty much no limitations anymore on what you're able to do. Stylistically. So anyway, that's mine. So I'll throw it to you.
One thing that I do enjoy about gaming is, people upload their gameplay videos to YouTube. It really helps when, I'm uncertain about a game, if I would enjoy it or not. So what I normally do whenever I hear a game either came out or is coming out, I go and look on YouTube, see if there's any gameplay videos of it, watch it, and then base my decision off that. And, as you say, if there's a demo out of it, then I go and check out the demo.
Demos are awesome.
But then you get, all the YouTube Let's Players, who are pretty entertaining. It's just fun to watch, and it just really helps me unwind, kind of, when, I just kind of want to come home and just watch a video and, hey, these guys are playing a game that I really enjoyed. Let's, hear what they have to say about it, and just watch them mess up as they're playing. It's just, I do really enjoy, just the amount of user content that is just on the internet to help you either base a judgment on the game or just watch someone else play and, enjoy it. Another thing that I do like about gaming is, well, this kind of goes back all the way to, the Game Boy, is I do like the fact that there are handheld games to where I can just take them anywhere and not have to worry about really much of anything other than battery life. But, I can take, say, Final Fantasy III for the DS, and I can play it anywhere. It's just...
Oh yeah, portability has really skyrocketed.
I mean, while I may not be a fan of the whole mobile side of gaming, but in terms of handhelds made specifically for gaming, I love them. Just because, I can play whatever game I want, anywhere I want, whenever I want.
Yeah, I always have a 3DS in my pocket, and my Vita is usually at home waiting for something to be released for it.
But no, I always take my 3DS with me, either whether it be to school or, if I'm just out. And if I'm bored or whatever, I can just quick pull it out and play a game. Keep myself entertained. I'm not tied to any system or console or my PC, I can just do whatever. And I just find that amazing that, especially now with just how powerful these handheld systems are and what they're able to pull, it's just simply amazing that, these can do it.
I know, you look back at what we had when we were kids, we had like the Game Gear and the Game Boy and stuff like that, and it's like, you had to squint, and things are made of like
play
these
with
six
the
lines.
tint slider.
Yeah, you're messing with the contrast and the brightness, trying to get it just right. And it played, like it's like they took the console version at the time and just lopped off all of its limbs and went, here you go. Mm-hmm. It kind of looks like what you thought it was. But now you look at stuff like the 3DS and the Vita, and it's just amazing what they can pull off.
Yeah, it just reminds me of like back at the Game Boy Advance SP when they put in a backlight. I was like, oh, thank God! Oh, God, now I can see it. I don't have to be under a frickin' light to play my game. I can just play it now. Thank you.
The Game Boy Advance SP was probably the first time I thought handheld gaming was a legitimate form of gaming. I had a Game Boy and a Game Gear and all that stuff before, but it was like, I only really played them when I was out and about and had to play them. Mm-hmm. Just to keep myself occupied. Whereas the Game Boy Advance SP was, even the Game Boy Advance, the first one, I was kind of like, it's okay. But when the SP came out and you could actually see what you were doing, it was like, oh my God, I could take this anywhere, and I would sit in my room and play my Game Boy. It also helped that the games on that system were incredible.
Didn't the Game Gear have a backlight though?
For all of 2 hours.
Yeah. Plus, if you felt like carrying a brick in your pocket.
Yeah, mine had mine used to belong to my sister, and we got her the what was called the Power Back, mm-hmm. which was this massive battery that you would screw onto the back of the system, and then it had a little wire that you had to plug into the AC in on the system, and it had its own charging port and stuff. So, but it was official. It was officially Sega and everything like that, and it did work for like 6 hours, but the thing was a brick. Like you would carry that thing around. It was heavy. Like, I know the original Game Boy wasn't anything, tiny by today's comparison, but compared to the Game Gear at the time, that thing was just incredibly small.
Yep.
So,
what was it, like 3 or 4 inches by 3 or 4 inches?
Something like that, yeah. Oh, the screen?
No, I was just talking about just the...
Oh, the thickness?
The SP as a whole, like, when it's closed and everything.
That was the best part. Yeah, that was the best part, was it folded into a little square, and so the screen was pretty well protected, And so you could just throw it in your backpack, you could throw it in your pocket, you could throw it anywhere you wanted. And it was this tiny little square thing that never really got in the way. They've kind of gotten away with that, or away from that with the DS line, because everything's rectangular and kind of bulky, but I still think the 3DS, at least the original 3DS, is quite portable. I'm not sure about the 3DS XL. That thing looks like a netbook. But heck, why not?
Yep, that's pretty much what I can think of what I do enjoy about gaming. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of others. It's just thanks for springing this on me. I didn't have much time to think, but...
Yeah, right?
But that's what I could come up with right now.
Another thing I want to throw out there, because I know you're going to say this.
Okay.
Co-op.
Yes.
I love stuff that's co-op, and there's a lot more co-op stuff now than there was back in the day. Because a lot of times back in, like, the Sega Genesis, whatever, it was like you versus your friend, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, that kind of stuff. I mean...
Well, even then it was just kind of local co-op, but, it was kind of cumbersome. Because...
Yeah, it's like... But nowadays, like, you and I can sit at our houses and go, hey, you want to play some Left 4 Dead? Yeah, sure. Okay. Hey, you want to play Half-Life 2 with the co-op synergy thing jacked in it? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yep.
And, yeah, it's great fun. So, I'm going to throw that in there for you, because I know you're really huge into co-op stuff.
Yeah, I do enjoy anything co-op. I mean, just recently, like with my favorite game, Payday the Heist, I'm not that much of an online player. I don't enjoy getting online and playing with random people just because I don't find that as fun, because I can't really joke around with them or anything. But recently, I've been just jumping into public games on Payday. Still having a blast.
With your gold mask.
Yeah. But,
cool.
It's just the ability to play with others, if you can. Just with a lot of games now, it's not limited to a select few. I mean, quite a few games have some sort of cooperative mode in it. And it's just so much fun to, play with either whoever or your friend when, they're not even in the room with you.
Yeah, internet gaming or I should say the internet is amazing for that reason, is you can play with anybody you want, anytime you want. There's always somebody playing something. And it's always loads of fun. Unless you have to pay for it, like Xbox Live, and then it's like, oh...
Oh... Right.
I will say back when Xbox Live first came out, it was totally worth paying for it, because the alternative was PlayStation 2 had different IDs for every single game. So, I don't know, did you ever try playing online with PS2?
No, I did not have a reliable internet at that time. I had dial-up.
Okay, I had the original wireless adapter for the Xbox that plugged in through the USB port, or no, the Ethernet port.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a standalone device. So you could configure it and then just move it over to any system you wanted. Well, I had a PS2, and I was like, well, let's see how the PS2 does things. And so I popped in Killzone, and it was like, please enter this code. And I was like, okay. So I entered the code, and they're like, all right, connecting you to a match. And I'd play, and it was laggy as shit. And then it was like, oh, that was another thing. Xbox Live was pretty good lag-wise when it came out, I remember. It was pretty solid. I had a few issues with it here and there, but, overall it was pretty good. PlayStation 2's was god-awful terrible. It was really bad. Let's see, I played Killzone over the internet. I played, what was that Jak and Daxter game? Or not Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank game, Deadlocked or something like that it was called. And it had like a co-op thing. I tried Siphon Filter online.
Oh, jeez.
And that was just terrible. But the problem is that each game had its own code, and nothing was cohesive. It didn't create, like, one gaming experience. You know what I mean? It was all, like, segmented. And it worked, and it was better than nothing, but compared to Xbox Live at the time, it was second to none.
Yeah.
But I mean, now PlayStation 3, I think, has really gotten their stuff together, and they're really trying. And Nintendo is over in the corner.
We're innovative.
I remember the GameCube came out, and they're like, buy our broadband adapter for the GameCube. Oh, all right. How much is it? $50. Okay, and what does it do? You can link systems together or go online with all of 3 games. Okay, no. I mean, the Wii is a little better, but that's not saying much. It's wireless. That's something. But, I mean, trying to get together and play, like, Monster Hunter Tri.
Yeah, I mean, we both have Wii Speak, but it's just completely cumbersome to use because you can't talk to other people unless you friended them through Wii Speak.
And then even then, it's a really low quality transfer of the audio. So we ended up just like getting on Skype and talking to each other while we play.
I drug my laptop over to like a nightstand next to the chair and just kind of hooked myself into that and talked to you through Skype instead of Wii Speak.
Yep. All right. Well, I think we should move on. I think we've spent too much time bitching some more. It's supposed to be all positive. We're going negative again.
No. Give and take. It's with everything.
Yeah. I swear, when I get into a game, though, it's awesome. But we'll get to that. Okay, so we actually do have a question. This is from one of my subscribers, Johnny Johnson. He left it in the comments of the previous episode. Just to let you guys know, if you guys want to leave us any questions, just leave them in the comments on the video, or you can go to the oceanofbees.com forums and click on the podcast link, and then there's a question thread in there. And I do check that every single time before we record, so you will get your questions answered. So do get them in there.
Just depends on when we do the next one.
Yeah, it's really up in the air right now because we're all so busy.
Yep.
But, alright, moving on. So the question is from Johnny Johnson, and it says, what is the most valuable game you own, and how much did you pay for it at the time you bought it, and how much is it currently worth?
Ooh, you know what I'm going to say.
Yes, you go ahead and start, because I know exactly what you're going to say.
While I probably don't have as expensive as a game as probably Marauder does, my most expensive game that I have on me is a card-only copy of Earthbound. I got it for me for my birthday.
Bastard.
Yeah. I got it for my birthday back when I think it just came out. I don't remember how much it was.
Do you still have that giant book?
Yes, I still have the strategy guide.
Okay.
But
I think when it came out, it was like $50 to $60. I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Super Metroid was like $70 when it came out.
Yeah. Well, I would just say somewhere around there because that sounds about right. But as of right now, card only goes for around 100 to $120 just for the card. And if you have a complete copy, which is kind of rare in itself, but that can go in upwards of $400 to $500. And I'm just kind of amazed, but it's kind of Nintendo's fault for why it didn't sell in the first place.
Well, when you write "this game stinks" on it, I don't understand why you expected it to sell.
Yeah.
But I still stand by the fact that if they released those games today, they would sell.
Yeah, I know, but they're not going to.
I know, but they should.
I know.
Any other Rare games?
I don't know.
Well, you do have a copy of The World Ends With You.
Yeah, The World Ends With You. I bought that, new $35, and now it goes for, what, $40, $50?
Yeah,
for complete.
Like
and, you also brought up the fact of the Ace Attorney games.
Yeah, some of those Ace Attorney games are stupid expensive.
I don't know which one it is, but I bought it new for $35, and one of them is going for around $90 to $100 new.
It's like the Ace Attorney 2 or whatever. It's the...
Two or three, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But... yeah, that was just one thing that I just remembered now. But... I don't know.
A lot of DS games seem to be valuable.
Yeah. How much is Infinite Space?
Last I checked it, that goes for around 60 to 70 for a US copy.
Yeah, that's another one that I know both of us have now. But
yeah, but you've got an actual copy. Mine's sliced from the back. It's missing the case.
Well, at least you have it.
That's true. I do have it, and I didn't have to spend $70 for it, so I'm pretty happy.
Yeah. But I don't know. That's all I can think of right now. I mean, I might have to go through and probably check if I really cared that much. But
yeah.
But yeah, that's all I can think of off the top of my head.
I've got a few that either that I think are valuable or that I know are valuable based on what I've seen online. You already brought up Infinite Space and The World Ends With You. The World Ends With You I ended up picking up on your recommendation for like $15 or something like that.
Yeah, that was when it was on Amazon for 15.
Yeah, $15, and then it shot through the roof for some reason. So I have that. I have Infinite Space on DS. We talked about that. I have Radiant Historia on DS, complete in box.
The special soundtrack version.
Yep, and that version goes for... I bought it for $35 or so, and it goes for around 50 plus. Again, last I checked. I'm not checking right now, so whatever. Oh, I have both Hyperdimension Neptunia games on PS3. Those are quite valuable now. The first one goes for around 50 or so for the US copy, and the second one goes for a little bit more, goes for around 60 to 65. I bought each one of those used. I bought the first one off Amazon for like $35, and then I bought the second one off at GameStop for, I don't know, like that's something I got with that gift card that I got, because the game looked interesting. So I only ended up spending like $12 actually on that. Oh, I have a copy on my TurboGrafx. I have a copy of Legend of Hero Tanma, or Tamba, I forget how you say it. But the US version of that is supposedly very rare and hard to find, and I have that with the manual. I don't have the case for it though, which is a little disappointing. As for what that game goes for, I have not seen it online, so nobody really has a price for it. I don't know if that just means it's like stupid rare or stupid valuable, but I know that's at least something that's, you know...
something to consider.
Yeah, something to consider. Oh, I have a copy of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 New Age of Heroes for the original Xbox, which was produced in a very, very...
limited?
Limited run, because right after that was published, Capcom lost their license with Marvel, so they had to stop production. So that actually only went through a one production run. Now, the price went down on that a little bit when the digital version came out on Xbox Live, but it still is about $50, which anything that holds its initial value, like its original purchase price, I consider to be pretty rare or pretty valuable. What else? There's... Oh, and my crown jewel of my collection, and the one thing that I am really, really happy to have, is I have a copy of Castlevania Bloodlines for the Sega Genesis, factory sealed, that's never been opened. And I bought that at a local used game store for like $15, and it's worth around 50 to 75, give or take. So,
and I also think it wouldn't hurt you could probably mention Magical Chase.
Oh, I don't own that anymore, though. Yeah, I did have a copy of Magical
I don't
Chase
know,
for TurboGrafx.
just as a mention.
Yeah, I bought a TurboGrafx at a garage sale with like 50 some odd games and all the stuff for like $4. And one of the games in there was Magical Chase, which is one of the rarest games on the system because apparently you had to mail away for it or something. Mm-hmm. I forget how it worked, but it was some kind of mail order game. And the thing about it is, I had no idea what any of these games were because I had never even seen a TurboGrafx. I knew what it was when I bought it, but I've never played the games. I don't know anything about the games, so I was watching a guy's video, actually, Spider1A, who does a show called Turbo Views on YouTube, and he was talking about Magical Chase, and he brought up the fact that it was the rarest game ever. So I went to look up what it was worth, and it's worth upwards of $1,000. And at the time, I was like, I have a rule. I don't sell games unless I know, like, that I can make a good profit on it. Not that I'm a reseller or anything like that, because I rarely sell my games.
You don't get rid of your games, ever.
No, it's a blue moon. But I really kind of wanted a new laptop and a camcorder and really start my YouTube show, so I bought that game for like 10 cents or some stupid thing, and I think I sold it on eBay for around $700 or so. $750, I don't know, somewhere around there, a couple $100. And it's a game I honestly don't miss because I don't really have any emotional attachment to it, It would be kind of different if I tried to sell, like, my copy of Ninja Gaiden 2 on NES. Like,
yeah,
that would be harder to give away than something that I just picked up at a garage sale.
Yep.
I think to be completely honest, I've only ever resold my games 3 times in my life. Well, 4, including Magical Chase. So, yeah, I'm not a reseller. I don't go out looking to price gouge people or anything like that. It just happened to be that I wanted to start a YouTube channel. I needed a camcorder. I needed a laptop. And that was a really easy way to get a lot of money really quick. So, and it paid off. I have a nice laptop. I have a nice camcorder. So, great. But yeah, there's a couple other games in my TurboGrafx pile that are quite valuable. I don't remember them off the top of my head, though. Other than that, I don't think I own anything rare other than that. Oh, no. One more thing. For the Xbox 360, I own Record of Agarest War, limited collector's edition, and that goes for anywhere from $80 to $100, with the weird pillowcase and the booby mouse pad and all that stuff. Because I don't know. The funny thing about that game, though, is I bought it because it was cheaper to buy the limited edition at the time than it was to buy the actual game. Mm-hmm. Because I went to GameStop, or maybe it was no, it was GameStop. I walked into GameStop and I was like, yeah, I want to get that game. It looks fun. And the original edition was like $40, and the special edition was like $35. And I was like, why? And the guy at GameStop's like, well, we can't put it out is the problem. He's like, we can't put it on the floor because the box is too racy. So we have to keep it in the back, but that, we obviously can't sell it unless someone comes asking for it. Mm-hmm. So they lowered the price to get rid of it because they couldn't keep it out on the floor for people to see it and buy it. And actually, when I went up and asked for the game, he brought up the fact that they had the special edition and that it was cheaper. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah. So
that is a game that I have that's quite valuable. I know, I keep pulling this out of my ass. Last one, I swear. Yakuza 1 and Yakuza 2 on PlayStation 2, which are amazing games. They're quite rare. I wouldn't say they're like super valuable yet, but a used copy of 2 goes for like $50, and a used copy of 1 goes for like $60 to $75. So there's that. And I bought the first Yakuza brand new when it first came out because it looked interesting, and then the second game I picked up used when you and I were out, You just...
I just pulled it off of the shelf and I go, "Hey Ryan, look," and then you basically mauled me to death trying to pry it from my hands.
I snatched it. You weren't getting that. Well, no, it was like they had like a buy two get two or something going for PS2 games.
Yeah.
And so it was like I don't remember what I bought. I bought like 3 other games and then that, and I was really happy because when that game came out, it was really hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
I remember going to like every store I could think of and calling around, and nobody had it. I walked into a GameStop once, and they had it for $19.99, and I didn't pick it up because I'm an idiot. And then I was like, "Oh, I'll pick it up next week," and then it was just nowhere to be found. That's why when I find a game I want, I just buy it, because it's not worth my time to go looking again.
Yeah.
Unless it's like stupid cheap on Amazon or something. So yeah, that's a couple of my rare games. I was actually thinking of doing a video of showing off the rarer games in my collection, but I don't know if I'll do that.
Just talking about this, I did think of one more thing.
Yeah.
Just to add, I have all of the original Dot Hat games for the PS2.
Oh yeah, yep.
While the first 3 aren't really that rare, I mean, I know they can go in upwards of like $20 or $30. But the 4th game, that one is pretty much at its original selling point of, $50, $60, depending on where you want to buy it. And
yeah, I remember you were searching high and low for those a couple of years ago.
Yep.
You really wanted them.
Well, it's just I never finished the series. I played through 3, and then it just got annoying because when I wanted to go buy 4, I remember seeing 4 everywhere. Just everywhere.
Yep.
And then nowhere when I actually want to buy it. So.
I just had that happen to me a couple days ago. I went out to, I was working, and at the store where I work, they sell video games in the electronics section, and I wanted to pick up Uncharted 3. So I go back there, and they got the Uncharted 3 just regular edition for $20, and then they got the Game of the Year edition right next to it for $40. And I was like, well, I don't really care about all the additional crap. I just want to play the game. And so I went back there yesterday to pick up the regular edition, and it was sold out. So hopefully tomorrow when we head up to GameStop, they might have a copy that's a decent price.
Yep.
Because I want to get... Well, we'll get into this on the next section, but I want to get that game so I can finish that series. So yeah. Let's move on to games we've been playing, and this will probably end the podcast. So just a few games, and you can start if you want, Phoenix.
Well, thanks to my workload with homework, me being in what technically my professors call the hardest class in, my major, I really haven't had much time. But the games that I have played is, more or less the usual: Payday the Heist, Left 4 Dead 2. Me and you tried Half-Life 2 with the Synergy co-op mod, which was pretty fun. It's just kind of broken because all the loading screens, I would have to reload the server with the new map. But
and then it crashed because it couldn't load the map.
And then it crashed on you. I mean, it was still working fine for me, but yeah, whatever. There's that, and I recently purchased a couple of games off of Good Old Games, which was Shogo Mobile Armor Division and Populous the Beginning. I'll just start with Populous because I know more about it. But it's a real-time strategy game from Bullfrog, and it was practically the only Populous game I played. I haven't played the first 2, but I absolutely adored that game. It was what I played, back when on my old, crappy 98. But that was fun. I just had a blast. And then when I saw that they had a special EA sale on, their stuff, I picked it up for like what, $230.
Yeah, it's stupid cheap.
Of course I have, a bit of compatibility issues, but hey, it runs. I can play it. It has not crashed on me. Just a couple visual glitches that are noticeable, but hey, it plays. I don't care. I'm still having a blast playing it now. Shogo Mobile Armor Division is an old game developed by Monolith Software, where if you've played Fear, I don't remember when, but as an Easter egg, if you go to a specific room that you can access after you like turn off a fire or something from a gas valve, if you go in there, there will be a radio in there that actually plays the opening theme to Shogo Mobile Armor Division. And and once I made that connection, I'm like, oh, that's so awesome. But Shogo Mobile Armor Division is a mech game with an anime-like feel to it.
Yeah, it's got like an anime art style.
Mm-hmm. And I've played a couple hours into it. It is kind of unstable. It's crashed on me a couple of times, but this is before I made the tweaks mentioned in the forums. But from what I have played of it, I want to keep playing it. It's pretty fun. The AI in that game is actually really good and smart. Something.
Well, it's Monolith. They like.
Well, considering how old that game is, you wouldn't think that the AI would be good, but it's good. You actually have to, watch your back, because they will, swarm you, and they will, I don't know, what is it? Flank you. That's it.
Yeah.
So you do really have to keep your wits about you in that game. But, you can pick it up from Good Old Games, Desura for $6. I do recommend it. From what I played of it, it's really fun, and I do want to keep playing it.
That reminds me, I still got to go pick up Descent 1 and 2 from them.
Yeah. And, let's see. Oh, something I never thought I'd be playing as much, but I got Plants vs. Zombies for free due to some dentist promotion during Halloween. And I'm actually playing that a lot more than I think I would have. But, if you got like 10 minutes to kill, boot it up, type of thing.
Yeah, it's just one of those like quick games that you just play and you're done with.
But hey, it's fun. It's kept my attention, when I needed, 10 minutes to kill time and whatnot. But that's pretty much it from what I have played.
Plants vs. Zombies got their own disc release on 360.
Yeah, I know.
And PS3.
For retail price.
No, they're like $20.
So that's more than what you can get on Steam, right?
Yeah, no, it's way more than you can buy anywhere else. But I mean, if you have an iPhone, you could probably get it on iPhone for like $1.
Yeah.
But whatever. It's one of those games that's just everywhere. It's like Angry Birds. It's like Angry Birds just released on like every major console now, and it's just frustratingly stupid. I knew there was a problem when the Roku came out, which is like a portable little box that plays media files off like thumb drives or through the internet. And it actually had an Angry Birds edition that had played Angry Birds. It's like, really? Do we need this? Seriously?
Oh, wait. I do know one other thing. Be pretty much springing this on you since you sprung me on the stupid topic. But, I did buy Liberation Maiden.
Aww.
Yeah. Like, pretty much yesterday, right before I went to bed. It was just driving me up a wall over how good the game was.
I might just buy it because I don't want to go spend $20 on it.
Well, that was pretty much my thought process, because now they have the whole thing where, hey, you don't have enough, do you want to make it so you just pay enough? Instead of, you have to buy the $20 card.
Again, just for that extra dollar you don't have, yeah.
So I went and bought it, and it was developed by Suda51 and Level 5, two amazing game developers, So, it pretty much got my attention from that alone.
I'm buying it.
But
I'm buying it as soon as we hang up.
But watching, gameplay videos of it, it's a shooter where you have to destroy, I forget what they're called, but you're fighting for New Japan. It has a heavy anime style. There's actually a animated, anime style cutscene introducing you to the game when you start it. But basically you fly around targeting enemies, and you have this super move that charges up when you do enough combos to clear the screen, and it's just really fun to play. I mean, I've only played the first level because, you know, time-wise, don't have enough. But nothing I've ever played really before was as epic as, you know, that first level. I mean, especially with the boss music of that level. I mean, I know it might turn off people because it's kind of a anime / J-poppy song with Japanese lyrics and stuff, but you know, it's just the rock of it, and you know, just the overall feel of the song, as well as you're, you know, taking down this gigantic boss. Nothing beat it. It was amazing. I would say probably the only downside to it is it's only 5 levels long, but there's plenty of unlockables that you can do from playing the game, and from what I've played, I would not mind playing that first level 100 times over, and I'm pretty sure, you know, the same can be said about the other 5 levels. So, and it's all for $8 on the Nintendo eShop. So, it's just amazing. I do recommend getting it, you know, if you're into that sort of thing. And I don't know, I really just like to support any company who, you know, brings these quirky games to, you know, the system, because it breaks the pace of what, you know, is being released. Oh god, another Call of Duty, you know, type of thing.
Yeah, it's a shooter with a personality.
So, you know, so I always support them when I can. But
we were gonna wait till tomorrow, go out and get some cards, but screw that, I'll just buy it now.
I couldn't. It was driving me up a wall. You know, I watched that one gameplay video of level 1 like 5 times, just because of how fun it looked, and I was just like, screw it, bye. But yeah, that's all I've been playing.
Cool. Awesome. Well, let's see. What have I been playing? I'll just mention a couple things. More Tales of the Abyss on 3DS. Still really enjoying that. It got a little farther. I ended up spending a lot of time in the port town that you come to. You might know the city name better than me. It's like Camel something or other. Cassidonia, thank you. Just to level my characters up a bit before I left. Mm-hmm. Just because it's an RPG and I feel like that's necessary. I don't know if it's going to help. I assume it will. But, you know, whatever. So, still playing that. I picked up a copy of Hyperdimension Neptunia, the first one, so I've been playing through that because I bought the sequel first, like an idiot. And when I bought the sequel, I assumed it's like Final Fantasy, where you can just buy any game, and, you know, it's like the same universe but different story. No, the story's a continuation, so I got to a point in the second one where this one character shows up and everybody's shocked and appalled, and I'm like, I have no idea who this character is. I don't know. So, yeah, I ended up going online and buying the first one, which, like I said, I spent about $35 or $40 on it overall. Not too bad, considering how rare it is. But really enjoying that. For the first Uncharted game on PS3, I really want to get through that because I'm getting close to the end and I can kind of feel it, you know? Mm-hmm. When you can kind of notice everything start to wrap up. I think I'm pretty close to done with it.
You'll feel that many times in Tales of the Abyss. And you go, oh, great. There's still another 10 hours to this game. Yeah. You know, when I got to where I was, you know, a while ago, because my younger brother beat the game, he goes, so where are you at? And I'm like, oh, I'm here. And he goes, oh, that's like 10 hours away from where I'm at. And I'm like, really? I could have swore that was the last area. You know, because I was already 25 hours into the game.
Right.
But, no.
Well, that's a shame.
I don't care. I got my money's worth out of that game.
Yeah, right. So yep, I've been playing that. So hopefully I can move on to Uncharted 2. I did buy Uncharted 2 recently, so I'm in preparation for moving on to it, and then I'm going to probably pick up Uncharted 3 tomorrow, because I don't want to spend $40 on the Game of the Year edition when I don't care about it. What else have I been playing? Oh, I've been on a really big kick with Soul Calibur for some reason. I don't know why, but the first Soul Calibur is like one of my favorite games. And I have it on Xbox Live Arcade, so I've been playing that. It's kind of fun. It doesn't have online play, so that's kind of limiting. So I'll just go through the arcade mode a couple times and play through it. But it's alright, I guess. Been playing some Sega Genesis, just some random games. Stuff like the Sega 6-Pack, Spider-Man, X-Men 2 Clone Wars, and a couple of the original Sonic the Hedgehog games, because the Sega Genesis is awesome. And I guess lastly, all I've been playing is two more games. I've been playing Halo Reach on Xbox. I really am liking that game. When Halo 3 came out, I was kind of lukewarm to it. It's really weird. Like, I loved Halo 1, I liked Halo 2, and then I hated Halo 3. So I skipped ODST and Halo Wars just because I had no interest in them anymore. And then I found Reach brand new in a sale bin at Sears for like $10. You can't pass that up. So I bought it, and I heard from a lot of people that it fixes a lot of issues that Halo 3 had. So I decided to try it out, and yeah, it fixes a lot of issues that I had with Halo 3. You really feel like you're in the middle of a war. That was one thing that really pissed me off with Halo 3, was you were supposed to be in this Earth-defending war where everything was on the line, and, this was it. This was the end. Finish the fight kind of thing. And it really felt like you were just kind of going through the motions, like, blow up alien, go to next area, blow up alien, go next area.
Backtrack to area.
Yeah, backtrack through area. And you're always in these like enclosed spaces, and it didn't really feel like you were fighting a war per se. Whereas in Reach, I mean, there's stuff going on all over the place. If you look up in the sky, there's dogfights, there's spaceships, there's drop ships coming in random locations and dropping people off, trying to flank you. It's so much more engaging, at least for me. So really enjoying that, and I'm playing as a female soldier. I thought that was so awesome that they let you play as a girl. So, and you can customize like her voice and everything. So that's always fun.
Probably the only game you would be able to do that.
Yeah, very rarely in shooters like that you get to play as a girl, which...
If given the option, I'd normally choose the girl. Just
yeah,
because...
I generally pick a girl in games like that just for fun.
Well, just because you never really see it, plus I think it's kind of fun.
Yeah, like 99% of the time you're playing as a guy, so it's
Buffy
fun
McBufferson.
Yeah, so it's fun when you don't have to, when you can change it up a little bit. It's like Phantasy Star Portable when we used to play that, and I played as a girl in that, just because in Phantasy Star Online I was playing as a guy, so then Phantasy Star Portable I was playing as a girl, just to, I don't know, make it a little different. And the last thing that I've been playing is the PlayStation All-Stars beta, demo/beta. On the good side, it seems like it's really balanced, which is good. You've got your speed characters like Parappa the Rapper or Sly Cooper, and then you've got your power characters like Fat Princess or Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal. But I have a slight issue with it in the fact that you can't die. You can die by getting blown off the stage, but the only way to actually score a point is to use your special. So, every character has this bar below their character that fills up as you attack people. Then when it's filled up to level 1, 2, or 3, you can unleash a special attack. And if you hit somebody with that, they immediately die, regardless of, how well they've been doing in the fight or anything like that. They just immediately die. And that's how you score your points. Well, I don't know if I really like the way that is. Because, in a game like Smash Brothers, obviously the closest comparison, you have that percentage meter that fills up as you attack, so you can, and the more damage they take, the farther they get thrown, or the harder they get hit.
It actually matters to how well you play.
Yeah, so, mastering the defense and blocking and everything I don't think is as crucial in this game, in All-Stars. But, it works well enough. The controls are fine. And, the characters, like I said, are well balanced, and the level stages are interesting and all that. But I just don't know if I like the idea of not having some kind of health bar or meter. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because in Smash Brothers, let's take Melee, for example. You could knock them off the stage any way you want. If you want to just do a couple quick jabs and dodge away and throw them around, you could do that and still win. But in All-Stars, the only way to score a point is to hit them with your special. So
I think probably your problem with it is it doesn't matter how well you play, as long as it just more matters how quickly you can fill up your super meter.
Yeah, there seems to be less strategy to it. I know the only way to fill up your meter is to hit people, is to successfully attack people, so learning the defense is still crucial, but it just doesn't feel like it's that important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's critical to everything.
Like it has a negative impact on, if you're getting hit or not.
Yeah, because you can get hit and fly across the stage and you're fine, and there's no adverse effect to you getting the crap beat out of you, other than they got slightly more meter than you did. Whereas in Smash Brothers, like I said, your damage meter goes up and you're more susceptible to being thrown off the stage. If you're going to rip off Smash Brothers, you might as well rip it off wholesale. Because I don't really like the way this is playing so far. So I don't think I'll pick it up. I was kind of debating if I was or not. Because I like the idea of a Smash Brothers style game with Sony characters. I thought it was kind of an interesting concept. And it is. It really is a neat thing. But it's just not for me, I think. Mm-hmm. Also, the PlayStation Vita is missing a couple buttons. So, I don't know if anyone's ever seen a Vita console, but basically, it's missing the L2 and R2 buttons, and the L3 and R3 buttons, because the joysticks don't push down. Other than that, it's got all the buttons you would think a PlayStation 2 controller would have. So, but the problem is, there's 3 attack buttons and a jump button, which are all mapped to the face buttons, because there's a light, a medium, and a heavy attack. Well, so, to pick up items, and then the left button blocks and the right button is to use your special, and the D-pad moves, and the right joystick throws. But the problem is, to pick up items and use items, you actually have to touch the screen. So, you have to move your finger off the attack buttons and tap the screen.
Jeez.
Yeah, luckily it doesn't matter where you tap the screen. You don't have to tap, on your character or anything like that. You just have to, hit the screen and it'll do it. But, I don't know, it feels clunky to me,
Oh yeah, because you're taking your hand off of where it should be.
Yeah, you're moving your thumb over. It's not as bad as it seems. I'll say that. It sounds worse than it is, but it is still kind of oh, really? You couldn't figure out how to do this? You have 90,000 buttons, and you couldn't figure out how to do this. They've got the rear touchscreen even. So maybe they could do a thing where you double tap on the back touchscreen, but then again, that could be a problem if you're holding it wrong. I don't know. The Vita, I'm just waiting for something to come out for the thing to play. I'm on there every night looking for demos just to have something to do on it, but whatever. But that's pretty much everything. Just a couple of things, because I really want to finish Halo Reach and Uncharted 1, at least. So, that's pretty much everything. So, anything else you want to talk about?
Not that I can think of.
Alright, well, then I guess we'll just wrap it up here. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast, episode 14 of Welcome to Bonus Stage.
Wow.
Yeah, that's 13 more episodes than I thought we'd have. If you guys, again, want to leave questions or comments or anything for us, you can leave them in the comment section below in the video, or you can go to the oceanofbees.com forums, click on the podcast link, and leave them in the corresponding thread. So, anyway.
One thing. Does anyone know a good site to host the MP3 version of our podcasts?
Oh yeah, if anybody knows of a free sharing website, that might be doable. YouTube works okay for now, but if we could somehow make it easier for people to actually download these things, that would be great. I don't really want to spend any money on it, given the fact that I spend money on everything else. And the oceanofbees.com website has very limited storage. So, it's really just a hosting site for our videos on YouTube and such. But yeah, so if anybody knows of anywhere to actually store the MP3s...
to where people can just freely download them with no limits.
Yeah, please let me know. Contact me through YouTube or through the comments. And I will hopefully figure that out. Anyway, as always, I'm your host, Marauder.
I'm Phoenix923.
And we'll catch you guys on the next bonus.